Don't think that. Didn't happen.
Superman's coming to school.
Sonichu 6. Sonichu 6.
This is Patty.
This is Patty's episode, yes.
I like White. Oh, okay, he has the thing about 13. I forgot.
Yeah. Okay, so One Lucky Dog is probably like the sweetest, cutest, best part of the whole fucking series. So his real life childhood dog, Patty, dies. And so to like kind of let her memory live on, he like, she becomes a human, not human, but like anthropomorphic animal that can talk and everything in this episode. And so he's like, oh shit, my dog can talk now. And so he takes her into his room and opens up like his bookshelf to reveal a portal to Quickville. And so he takes her there and he's like, this is your new home now, Patty. And he gives her a credit card and a cell phone with unlimited minutes. And he's like, knock yourself out. And from then on, Patty like appears to like fight bad guys and everything.
Truly a great afterlife.
I agree.
True. And so, Christian the Hedgehog Boys, everybody.
You make a new album.
So episode 14, evil is afoot. Evil was afoot indeed.
Indeed.
Definitely was afoot. Okay, so a lot happens here. So this episode picks up where Smashed Hearts and Entrapment leaves off, and Crystal is in the mirror, and
Crystal is in the mirror.
so basically, I know they were like in this big confrontation with Mary Lee Walsh, but don't worry about that because Darkbine and Patty show up and they like kick ass and everyone gets away safely, except Crystal is still in the mirror. So now they're like all in the mayor's office. By the way, Chris Chan is the mayor of Quickville. I don't know if I clarified that, but he is the mayor. They're all in his office and they're all like, oh shit, how do we get Crystal out of this mirror? And Magic Chan is like, well, don't worry, guys. We can unite all the Sonichu balls and free her. But we can also, just in case we can't find the Sonichu balls, can use the Chaos Emeralds altogether as well.
Me in the war room.
Yeah. So there's two possible options here. And we also get this like weird exchange between like Angelica and Bubbles, I think, about how hot and sexy Bionic the Hedgehog is, and it's like completely removed from all the actual like conversation. But remember Bionic, he's important later in this
Can we go
episode.
over Bionic's origin story?
We do go over Bionic.
Okay.
We talk about it later.
Okay.
This is Bionic right here.
Good.
I will get there. Okay, so Sonichu balls. Apparently, Darkbine Sonichu already has two of the balls because he needs them to awaken Princess Selena real quick. And we get this really cool like panel here where his Sonichu balls start like reacting or whatever. And he's like, oh shit, my two balls. And I really like that. I really like that exchange. So
Who knows comedy?
yeah.
Comedy.
Real quick, I would like to point out like some weird inconsistencies I found. If all Sonichus came into existence from the Rainbow Blast, I think it's really weird that there's also like an entire civilization of Sonichus called Rulequick, which is just Hyrule with Sonichus. I don't know how that makes sense in the context of the series, but like the canon is very questionable. So I'm not too concerned about it, but I think it's fun.
That will be a theme tonight.
Yeah. You're so right. So just then, there's like commotion from downstairs in the jewelry store because I didn't clarify earlier that the mayor's office is also located on top of Quickville Mall. And so they hear something going on in the jewelry store, and so Chris and like Magic Chan, I think, or fucking Sonic, I forget which one, but they're like all rushing to the jewelry store, and they're met with like a very mysterious green Sonichu here, and he like kind of transports himself and Christian into the dark dimension, and he reveals himself to, I appears out of nowhere to interrupt the action. He's like, Sonichu medallion, and he like transforms off screen, and then it cuts right back to the action.
Okay.
It's really weird and out of place,
It's
but
strange.
like it's foreshadowing that pays off here because we get the reveal that Nate Cirque becomes Relnak Natsu Nate Cirque, and that is just Christian Weston Chandler backwards. And he's basically just Nate Cirque, but he's also gay, and that's like his character here. And also he can transform into Relnak Hatok Sonichu, and that's like the green guy. And so he like has Christian cornered, and like he knocks him out, and he's about to go in for like a killing blow when he gets hit in the head with a basketball. And we find out that Bionic the Hedgehog threw the basketball at him. And we get this like weird scene where they're catching up, and Christian's like, oh shit, Bionic, I made you in high school. Because Bionic is like the first Sonic OC that Christian ever made. And yeah, they go back. So they're just buddies. They know each other.
They know each other from high school.
They do in fact know each other from high school.
I also really like that the Chan's antagonist is just that he's gay.
Yeah.
He's me, but make him gay.
There is a very weird theme in this comic where it's like he's kind of fighting off like gayness and gay people. So that happens.
Gotta fight off the gays.
Oh, also Black Sonichu is there, and he's like, oh, man, Nate Cirque is really bad now. He like kind of cast aside Giovanni as father, and also he put whipped cream in my rocket shoes. But like apparently that's like rewritten from the original comic, and instead the original line is he put creamy stuff in my rocket shoes instead of whipped cream. It's quite silly. So then, like, Relnak transports Chris and himself back to the real world, and the basketball happens, and Relnak is rushed to the hospital, and Bionic is there, and he's also, like, really mad at Chris because in high school he didn't create any female Sonic the Hedgehog OCs for him to smash. And Chris is like, oh shit, I'm sorry, man.
Didn't think about that.
So that is,
That's such a poorly drawn basketball.
No, that's good. That's me.
that word. Oh shit, also there's like this exchange where he interrupts his conversation with Bionic to be like, look out for my new DVD, Christian Weston Chandler. Yes, I'm on TV.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that is a real life product that he actually made. It's a compilation of all his TV appearances.
Holy
Because
shit.
he's on TV like quite often.
Surprisingly often.
A lot more than like your average person. And he
Oh my
also
God,
has
Winter.
like gameplay clips included in his DVD, including his like original Animal Crossing Let's Play, and it's all on there. And so he's telling everyone to like go buy his DVD.
I would buy it.
And this is
Which he gave out exclusively to people that he knew.
Yeah,
So it definitely wasn't something you could buy.
This is completely in universe, by the way. He just interrupts their conversation to say this. Sonichu 7.
Whoa.
Oh, fuck, we get into like time hogs and shit in this one.
Whoa, that's a cool ass fucking. Whoa. That's actually really cool looking.
No, I love this. I love this issue.
Yo, Chris Chan actually is a really good cover artist.
For real. So, Time for a Ball. What can I say about Time for a Ball?
Oh!
Wait a minute.
It's the Peter Griffin one.
Yep. It sure is. It sure is.
Oh, is this whenever last night we were sitting down and
No, that's a completely different episode that I was talking about last night.
Okay.
There are multiple weird instances. And so, last episode I was talking about how Bionic the Hedgehog had no bitches. He did not have bitches. And in this episode,
Not at all.
Chris rectifies that by setting him up with Megan's OC, Megagi, and they're like an item, and they're dating for the rest of the series. And so he has bitches now.
'Cause he has a bitch.
He is a single bitch.
When is he hasn't been discovered, right? At this part in the timeline, he's still just publishing his little comic on like a lesser known website.
No, I think this is around the time he got discovered.
Okay. I think we're either on it or getting near it.
Because we're getting to Time Hogs, and
Okay.
that's when he like gets
Mhm.
So he sees like Bionic go on this date with his like little skunk girlfriend, and he's like, oh shit, I'm still a virgin. He's so angry about that, so he's lamenting again. But Megan's also there, and she like holds his hand, and he's like, aw shucks. That's not what he says. That's what I think he should have said. So also
That's what he said in my mind.
yeah. So also at this like same time, Sonichu and Magichan are in like the gymnasium of Manchester High School, where Chris went to high school, and they're like discussing like potential ways to find the Sonichu balls. And so Sonichu's like, I think you're deja vu being in this gymnasium, and Magichan's like, let me tell you something, buddy, because apparently Sonichu getting deja vu just means that like the Sonichu ball is actually back in time, and so they have to go back to when it was originally.
There.
Yeah. So they have to go back in time to retrieve it. And Magichan's like, oh shit, I'm not that powerful. I don't know like exactly when we have to go back to find the Sonichu ball, because he can determine that it came into contact with someone back in time, but he doesn't know like exactly when or where until he comes into contact with the person who had original contact with the Sonichu ball. But just then, Chris walks in, and he's like, he says something really funny here. I forget what he said. He walks into the gymnasium with Megan, and he's like, what's the update? And Magichan's like, oh shit, because then he can see that Chris was the guy that came into contact with the Sonichu ball, and it was when he like originally created Bionic the Hedgehog, because he got hit in the head with a basketball, and that's when the Sonichu ball, that was the Sonichu ball.
Has nothing to do with bionics, anything like that. He got hit in the head by a basketball. The Bionic the Hedgehog.
Coincidentally, it was the same time he created Bionic the Hedgehog. And so they determined from that so Magician's like, it was you, but just before we can get into any more plot, Chris interrupts the action to insert this Family Guy sketch that he made, and he's like, Seth MacFarlane, if you're out there, you have my full permission to use this in your show.
Dude.
And so it's this Chris Chan reskin of Peter Griffin.
Which looks much more like Chris Chan than Chris Marvel.
It's alright. This guy versus this guy. Which one looks more like the original? So it's really, really silly. So he has that sketch there, and then the sketch is over, and he goes right back into the action. And Magician's like, we gotta go back in time. And so that's this episode. Oh, shit. Time Hogs. Where do I fucking begin with Time Hogs? So, as I was saying earlier, this is around the time that people on 4chan started to notice the Sonichu comics. And they were like complaining that Chris was getting too much action here, and it was so far removed from Sonichu being the main character. And so this episode is like kind of a response to that, because it has Chris temporarily stuck in the Time Void. But I will get into that. So
He's already responding to hate.
Yeah.
yeah. So Magichan creates this little like time ball around them, and Sonichu like drives it with his running abilities, and they go back in time to when Chris was in high school and originally created Bionic the Hedgehog. And so Sonichu grabs the ball, hands it off to Christian, and like they're in their little time ball running back to their original time, but they hit this like kind of hard stop that launches Chris into the time void. And so they get back to their original time,
Another day of managing the varsity basketball team my freshman year.
Yep. Oh, also somewhere between like when they got basketball and when Chris gets lost in the time void, Chris includes this little original Beavis and Butthead sketch
Holy
just
shit.
in the middle of the action.
Oh my god. Seth MacFarlane. Not only does he's reaching out to all of them.
He's trying so hard.
My man, Cartoon Network, that's what's out. Aspiring artists are coming up.
And so Chris gets lost in the time void. Manishan and Sonichu get back to their original time. And Sonichu's like, oh shit, we gotta go save Chris. And Manishan's like, no.
And that's just like, no.
No. Because apparently there is nothing they can do to save him, and they just have to let him float through time and space for a bit until he eventually catches up with their original time. And they can't save him from the time void. But also, don't worry, because Chris will be able to, like, get accumulated memories from, like, the actual plot that's going on. So when he comes back, he'll be fully caught up, and there's no need to, like, re-explain any of the plot to him. And so that's, like, this. This is him getting all the accumulated memories and, like, knowing everything that happens. And, fuck. So I kind of want to get into some of the memories that he has here, because it's, like, real life events that happen to him. So
Mocking me? Slanderous. Phil.
So yeah, he's like talking about 4chan, but he calls it 4cent garbage in this comic series instead of 4chan. And he's like talking about like the trolls mocking him. And he's also like Joshua Martinez, Vanessa Hudgens, and that is in reference to a